Hello everybody, Mazetic here, and today we're gonna be showing off the hardest L of a YouTube channel I have ever seen. But first I'll provide context, unlike these cherry-picking clip channels. So Wings of Redemption was once a big Call of Duty player back in the day. But ever since he had a 1v1 against Syndicate on Bog from Modern Warfare 1, he's been on a downward spiral. And he made himself a lolcow mainly because of his e-begging and rages. Lolcows typically have a community of people who like to troll them, and for Wings, he had clip channels. These clip channels would sit through Wings streams and highlight the worst parts of it and do stupid edits. However, recently Wings of Redemption and Boogie2988 went against each other in the heavyweight prelim for the Misfits boxing event, which Wings came out the victor.
Hey, so how's your training been going for this fight, man?
Oh, it's been going wonderful. I've dropped 36 pounds. My endurance is going through the roof. Like, I took this shit serious.
Yeah. Well, how have you been training?
I've been doing 50 minutes on the heavy bag. I did 20 reps of farmer's walks, and I walked 45 minutes with my beautiful wife over here.
Anti-wifey in the back. She tried to hide, but don't worry.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent making his way to the ring. Wings of Redemption!
Lit up like a fourth, I'm a happy drunk. Come to pop a big mama, cause your daddy's drunk. I'm gonna bump it up like a Goodyear blimp. Make you holler for $1, that's the way I've been. Gold links and strings and glitters on the bayou. Them's all the things that I ain't gon' buy you. It's like one of the freaky things. Hit it once, maybe every couple weekdays. I got no love, I got no riches. I don't roll bows and I don't got switches. Got no game, I can't reward ya.
Boogie's got to face him. There we go. He's just walking into the punches there. At least he's throwing a couple.
Ref's gonna call it. Standing 8, there we go. That's the right call there.
4,
Absolutely.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There it is. That was the right call from the ref. That was the right call from the ref.
And one loser.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 33 seconds of round number 2. Referee Seamus Dunn stops the contest, and therefore your winner, Wings of Redemption.
This leads to Wings being praised, and honestly, I praise him too. It's less about the fact that he won against Boogie, but he did something everybody thought he would never do. He left his room, lost weight, trained, and went up on a ring with thousands of people watching around live, and while this was being live streamed to about 70,000 people, and he gave it his all. Everyone thought that either Wings or Boogie was going to drop out of this fight, and this was something way out of their comfort zones. People in Wings community, either once trolls turned fans or people who've always struck by Wings, is calling this his redemption arc, as Wings says he is still trying to drop weight and will likely try to get back into the ring when he's around 350 pounds. It also helped that Wings' attitude towards the whole event and during the event made him seem way more likable than ever. People in his community are willing to show their support to Wings because they want to see him change and get better. They want to see his redemption, basically. Especially now with him showing a more positive attitude on stream. Yeah, it's clear to see that people want to see him redeem himself. His name is Wings of Redemption after all. However, there are some people who don't want this to happen. This being who we're going to talk about today.
Look here. Look, listen.
Wings007 is a Wings of Redemption clip channel who basically made his entire career of clipping Wings. These titles go hard. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch a video called Wings Redemption leaves his dog outside during a hurricane, or Wings Redemption gets exposed by his wife, the divorce saga? Basically, his entire existence is based off Wings being a lolcow. But now that Wings is working on improving himself is probably getting out of lolcow status, Wings007 has no reason to exist. So instead of being a good little troll who understands when his time is up and will either move on to another lolcow, like for example Zyrax, Darkside Phil, Jaden, Daniel Larson, or the White Bowser, just to name a few. He is going to continue on the hate bandwagon by calling Wings a kid diddler. I can't say the actual word because YouTube really hates that P word. Now, does Wings 007 have any real evidence that states Wings is a kid diddler? No, not really. All he does is a link in out-of-context clips from Yellow Dick Swagger that are heavily cherry-picked.
Do you ever worry that there's child porn on your computer, like accidentally? No?
No.
Have you ever seen child porn?
I mean, I've seen some of these Call of Duty girls naked, and they're underage.
Okay.
That constitutes child porn, but
yeah, be a thing.
Why did they put so much years on fucking child pornography, dude? The minimum sentence is 10 years per picture. Yeah, but they should be able to change this bullshit. Like 10 years per child porn.
You see, the Clip Channel's philosophy is that if Wings says something bad, then it's true. But if Wings says something good, then it's a lie. That's why they get called cherry pickers. Because if Wings says something like he watches CP, then the Clip Channels will believe it 100% and will call it valid evidence that Wings is a kid diddler. But if Wings says something good, like he quit drinking Pepsi and is now on a non-Wendy's chili diet, then it's an immediate lie and Wings gets called a liar. Wings even stated that whenever he talks to the trolls and answers their questions, people say that he's either lying or that they just don't believe him. And they just want to believe their own headcanon.
I don't want to do this, Chan, because it's just going to be a bunch of troll questions. I don't want to... Here's the thing, and I'm going to try this to be the last time I ever talk about this. Right? I don't want to talk about trolling. I want to talk about trolling videos, things that happened in the past, anything to do with that. Don't want to talk about it. It doesn't matter, dude. Anytime I answer those questions, people say I'm either lying or they don't believe me. People want to believe their own headcanon.
Now, of course, being a kid diddler isn't defendable by any means. If someone's a threat to children and has a platform, I would advocate for them being deplatformed. But the thing is, these out-of-context clips don't provide any real evidence that Wings is in or was in possession of CP. But also I ask that if you actually believe Wings is in possession of CP, why wouldn't you call the cops and let them know while providing them with whatever evidence you have? Because if these clips are as damnatory as you want people to believe they are, surely the cops would look at these clips and start an investigation around him. Likely get a warrant to check his devices for CP. Hey, so editing Mazetic here, because there was something else I forgot to bring up. So whenever I questioned him on why he wouldn't go to the cops, he then asked me why EDP isn't locked up if it was really that easy. First off, the EDP situation was a completely different thing. You're comparing someone who tried to meet up with a minor for sex that was caught on camera with chat logs that proves he was talking to a minor, versus a guy with no real evidence apart from words of his mouth from out-of-context clips. The same guy you claim always lies when he talks and never believe him, that he's in possession of CP. There's a difference. If the police get a search warrant, they can search through his electronics, and if they find CP, they'll charge him for it. When it comes down to a guy sexting to who they believe to be a minor for sex, there's a lot that needs to go into it. Believe me, I never planned on making this video on you. My next video was gonna be about a predator I'm catching. But it's been taking so long, I don't know what's taking the detectives so long on doing this, because it seems like a clear and cut case. I've been at this for about 2 weeks now. And, yeah, the detectives are taking their sweet time, putting stuff out for this guy. And it kind of angers me. But it just proves that there's a lot that goes into this kind of stuff. Like, there needs to be an investigation that goes on to ensure that a guy like EDP is an actual threat to children. They need to make sure that they weren't forced into saying sexual things to the minor, basically being entrapped. That it wasn't someone else pretending to be him to frame them as talking to a minor, etc. Alex Rosen, the lead guy behind the EDP case, cared more about making bank off the case rather than ensuring EDP gets locked up. He didn't contact the police prior because the police don't really like when ordinary citizens involve themselves to confront these guys, because you never know how violent these guys can be. But if Alex didn't have that sweet confrontation footage, he wouldn't be getting those views, that watch time, that money. They handle that case more for self-interest rather than putting a creep away, and the consequences are that EDP gets to walk free. I mean, EDP is down bad having to sell his possessions and stuff, but he's still a free kid diddler. While Alex Rosin is one of the most hated people within the predator catching niche on YouTube. Because even though his channel, the EDP sting was got terminated, he's already back on like 4 different YouTube channels, ban evading. Alright, back to your regularly scheduled program. But here's the thing, trolls like him, they don't care if he's a danger to children. They don't care if this guy goes out and fucks a child tomorrow and scars them for life. Not saying Wings would do that, of course, it's just an example. They don't care if he's actually a kid diddler. All they care about is if they have something to laugh at him about. It's less about, oh, this guy's a kid diddler, we need to deplatform him and lock him up, even though that's what they're trying to act like it is. It's more, haha, this guy's a kid diddler, LMAO, what a creep. Also, it is alleged that Wings 007 has made a deal with Wings, and it's likely this deal involves 007 paying Wings. Now, if you believe Wings is a kid diddler, why would you pay him? Why would you give him any form of compensation, even if it means your channel going down? It's because you don't believe he's a kid diddler, or you value your channel more than warning people that this pedophile exists. It's even funnier because his defense towards people saying that Wings pays him was him showing a clip of Wings saying that Wings 007 doesn't pay him, which is wild since these are the same guys who calls Wings a liar on a daily basis. So are we supposed to believe Wings here or not? Maybe I should cherry pick like you guys did, where I think Wings is lying about having CP and lying about how he doesn't pay you. See how that works? Cherry picking to believe what I want to believe. You know, just like you clip channels. It's funny too, because this coward has been deleting his community posts consistently because of the backlash and hate he's been getting. Crazy how willing you are to send hate towards someone, but when you get hate towards you, you run like a little bitch. If you want to know what I think, until there's actually any actual concrete evidence of Wings being in possession of child porn or being a kid diddler, I don't think he's a pedo. I think Wings 007, however, is a twink nobody who likely weighs double of Wings at his heaviest, who is scared that his cash cow is losing lolcow status. Keep coping harder, Wings 007, because at this rate, a new lolcow is going to drop, and that no one would predict who it would be.